amidst a devastating wildfire in the Californian wilderness. Mike and his family face unimaginable dangers as they try to escape. Their loyal German shepherd, Blaze, becomes the heart of their survival story, protecting them from the raging fire and a relentless group of hunters intent on reclaiming Blaze for a sinister underground operation. When the family seeks refuge in a remote ranger station, Blaze's courage and loyalty shine through. He bravely defends the family from the hunters and their vicious dogs, ultimately leading the fight against the pursuers. Despite injuries and overwhelming odds, Blaze's determination saves the family, proving the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. This gripping tale showcases the strength of loyalty, love, and the incredible resilience of a dog who refuses to back down, even in the face of danger. What do you think about Blaze's courage and the family's fight for survival? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you've ever witnessed such incredible bravery. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to DG Story for more thrilling and heartfelt tales. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. The Carter family's home sat on a quiet hillside in Northern California, surrounded by towering pines and the serene beauty of nature. For years, this secluded retreat had been their sanctuary, a place where Mike, Sarah, and their 4-year-old daughter Emma could enjoy peaceful weekends with their loyal German shepherd, Blaze. But tonight, the serenity was gone. The winds outside howled like restless spirits, carrying the faint smell of smoke through the crisp evening air. Mike stood on the porch, staring into the horizon where the faint glow of orange light painted the sky. He clenched his jaw, his firefighter instincts stirring uneasily. Wildfires were nothing new in this part of the country, but the growing intensity of the glow made him pause. "Mike!" Sarah's voice called from inside, breaking his focus. "Dinner's ready." He stepped back into the house, forcing a smile. "Be there in a second," he replied, closing the door firmly behind him. Inside, the warmth of the home was a stark contrast to the unease outside. Emma giggled as she fed scraps of chicken to Blaze, who sat obediently at her side. The large German shepherd wagged its tail, its amber eyes full of devotion. "Blaze, you're going to spoil your dinner," Mike teased, ruffling the dog's ears as he walked past. As the family gathered around the table, the unease in Mike's chest grew stronger. He glanced at Sarah, who noticed his distracted expression. "What is it?" she asked softly. "I think we should keep an eye on the news," Mike said. "There's a fire a few miles out. It's probably nothing, but better to stay informed." Sarah nodded, though her brow furrowed slightly. "Do you think we're in danger?" "Not yet," Mike assured her, though the words felt hollow. The evening passed uneventfully until just before bedtime. Blaze began pacing near the front door, his ears perked and his tail stiff. He let out a low, rumbling growl that immediately caught Mike's attention. "What is it, boy?" Mike asked, stepping closer. Blaze didn't respond. Instead, the dog moved toward Emma's room, barking sharply and pawing at her door. "Blaze, stop," Sarah said, but Mike held up a hand. "No, something's wrong," he said, moving past Sarah. He opened Emma's door to find her sitting on the floor, playing with her toys. She looked up, startled by the commotion. "What's going on?" she asked innocently. Blaze nudged Mike's leg, barking again before running to the window. Mike followed, his stomach twisting as he pulled back the curtain. The orange glow had grown brighter, too bright. A plume of smoke now rose above the treetops, and the crackling of fire faintly reached his ears. "Sarah," Mike called, his voice steady but urgent. "Pack a bag for Emma. Now." "What? Why?" Sarah appeared behind him, her eyes widening as she saw the view outside. "Fire's spreading faster than I thought," Mike said, his firefighter training taking over. "We need to evacuate in the next 10 minutes. The house was a flurry of motion. Sarah packed essentials while Mike grabbed a flashlight and his emergency kit. Emma clung to Blaze, who stayed protectively by her side. his growls soft but constant. "Mike, the road," Sarah said, panic lacing her voice as she pointed out the window. "It's already blocked," Mike cursed under his breath. Flames had reached the narrow dirt road that led down the hillside, cutting off their main escape route. "We'll take the back trail," Mike said. "It's longer, but it leads to the main road. We'll have to walk." Blaze barked in agreement, as if understanding the plan. "Stick close to us, Emma," Sarah said, holding her daughter's hand tightly. As they stepped outside, the heat was immediate, oppressive. Embers floated in the air like fireflies, and the acrid smell of smoke burned their throats. Mike led the way with Blaze at his side, his flashlight cutting through the darkness as they moved toward the trail. Halfway down the trail, a sudden gust of wind shifted the flames, sending them roaring toward the family. The sound was deafening, like a freight train barreling through the forest. "Run!" Mike shouted. Blaze barked sharply, nudging Emma forward as the family sprinted toward a clearing. But in the chaos, Emma stumbled, her small hand slipping from Sarah's grasp. "Emma!" Sarah screamed, turning back. Blaze was faster. The dog darted to Emma's side, positioning himself between the girl and the encroaching flames. His sharp bark drew Mike's attention, and he ran back, scooping Emma into his arms. "We have to keep moving," Mike yelled. Blaze stayed close as they ran, his movements precise, his focus unwavering, even as the flames threatened to engulf them. The loyal German shepherd never faltered. The flames roared behind them, but Mike didn't slow his pace. With Emma in his arms, he led Sarah and Blaze deeper into the forest, following the faint outline of the back trail. Each step felt heavier as the heat intensified, and the smoke thickened in the air. "Are we almost there?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. She clutched her bag tightly, her other hand gripping Emma's jacket as Mike carried her. "Not yet," Mike said, glancing over his shoulder. "We need to keep moving. The main road isn't far once we clear this ridge." Blaze trotted ahead, his ears perked and his body tense. Every few seconds, he paused, sniffing the air before continuing. His sharp instincts guided the family through the maze of trees, away from the encroaching fire. As they neared the ridge, Blaze stopped abruptly, letting out a low growl. Mike halted, scanning the area with his flashlight. The beam caught the faint glint of embers in the distance. But something else was wrong. "What is it, boy?" Mike asked, lowering Emma to the ground. Blaze's growls grew louder, his tail stiff as he stared into the darkness ahead. Then they heard it, a cracking sound, sharp and sudden. Mike barely had time to react before a large tree, weakened by the fire, came crashing down onto the trail ahead. The impact sent sparks flying and blocked their path entirely. "No!" Sarah cried, her voice breaking. "What do we do now?" Mike clenched his jaw, his mind racing. "We'll find another way," he said, though even he wasn't sure how. Blaze, however, seemed to have a plan. The dog barked sharply, turning and darting toward a narrow gap between two burning trees. "Follow him," Mike said, grabbing Emma's hand as he led the way. The gap was barely wide enough for an adult to pass through, but Blaze squeezed through with ease, barking to urge them on. Mike went first, pulling Emma after him, followed by Sarah. The heat was unbearable, and Sarah yelped as a falling ember brushed her arm. "Keep moving," Mike shouted, his voice hoarse. Once through the gap, the family stumbled into a small clearing. The air here was slightly clearer, though the fire continued to close in around them. Blaze stood in the center of the clearing, barking toward the edge where the faint outline of a rocky slope was visible. "That leads to the creek," Mike said, recognizing the terrain. "If we can make it there, the fire won't reach us as quickly." Without hesitation, Blaze led the charge, his paws kicking up dirt as he ran. The family followed, their hearts pounding as they raced against time. The path to the creek was treacherous. Loose rocks shifted beneath their feet, and the thickening smoke obscured their vision. Mike gripped Emma's hand tightly, his flashlight cutting through the haze. "Careful where you step," he warned Sarah, glancing back to make sure she was close behind. Blaze was already ahead, his sharp barks echoing as he guided them down the slope. The German Shepherd moved with purpose, his ears twitching as he remained alert to every sound. "Blaze knows where he's going," Sarah said, her voice shaky but hopeful. Mike nodded, though his focus remained fixed on the path. "He's smarter than most people I know," he muttered, a hint of admiration in his tone. As they neared the bottom of the slope, the sound of rushing water reached their ears. The creek was close, salvation within reach. But the fire was relentless, its flames licking at the trees around them, growing closer with every passing second. Blaze stopped abruptly, turning back to bark at Mike. The dog's body was tense, his gaze fixed on something in the distance. "What is it, boy?" Mike asked, stepping forward. Before Blaze could respond, a deafening crack echoed through the air. A burning tree toppled onto the slope behind them, blocking the path they had just taken. Sparks flew, and the fire surged closer, feeding hungrily on the fallen timber. Sarah let out a cry, clutching Emma tightly. "We're trapped." Mike's mind raced. "No, we're not," he said firmly, scanning the area. "The creek's right there. We just need to cross it." He turned to Blaze, who was already moving toward the water's edge. The dog plunged into the creek without hesitation, his paws splashing as he tested the depth. "It's shallow enough to cross," Mike said. "Come on." Holding Emma close, Mike waded into the icy water, the cold shocking against his skin. Sarah followed, her breaths coming in panicked gasps as the current tugged at her feet. Blaze stayed ahead, his powerful legs cutting through the water with ease. He reached the opposite bank quickly, turning back to bark encouragement. Halfway across, the fire reached the creek. Flames licked at the water's edge, hissing and spitting as they collided with the cold current. The heat was intense, the air thick with smoke and ash. "Keep moving," Mike shouted, his voice barely audible over the roar of the fire. Emma clung to him, her face buried in his shoulder. Sarah struggled behind, her movements sluggish as exhaustion began to take its toll. Blaze, sensing her difficulty, splashed back into the water. The dog positioned himself beside Sarah, nudging her forward with his body. "You're almost there," Mike called, reaching the opposite bank. With Blaze's help, Sarah stumbled onto the shore, collapsing onto her knees. She clung to Emma, tears streaming down her soot-streaked face. Blaze barked triumphantly, his tail wagging despite the danger still looming. For a brief moment, hope flickered. The family huddled on the creek's far bank, their breaths coming in ragged gasps as the flames surged along the opposite side. Blaze stood watch, his body tense, ears pinned forward, scanning the darkness for further threats. Mike placed a reassuring hand on Sarah's shoulder. "We're not out of the woods yet, but we're safe for now," he said, his voice calm despite the urgency still crackling in the air. Sarah nodded, clutching Emma tightly. "We just need a moment," she whispered. Blaze barked sharply, his tail stiff. Mike's gaze followed the dog's line of sight. The fire hadn't crossed the creek yet, but the wind was picking up, carrying glowing embers that danced dangerously close to their side. "We don't have time," Mike said, helping Sarah to her feet. "We need to keep moving." Emma whimpered softly, her small arms wrapped around Blaze's neck. "Blaze is tired," she said, her voice trembling. Mike knelt beside the dog, running a hand over its back. Blaze was panting heavily, his fur singed in places, but his resolve was unshaken. "He's strong," Mike said gently. "He'll get us through this, right, boy?" Blaze wagged his tail faintly, letting out a soft huff as if to agree. They pressed on, following the creek downstream. The forest on this side of the water was darker, the trees denser, but the air was cooler and less choked with smoke. Blaze led the way, his nose low to the ground, guiding them with an instinct that seemed almost supernatural. After what felt like hours, they stumbled upon a small clearing. At its center stood a derelict hunting cabin, its windows broken and roof partially caved in. "It's not much," Mike said, assessing the structure. "But it'll give us a break from the fire." Sarah nodded, her exhaustion evident. "Anything's better than being out here." The family approached the cabin cautiously. Blaze entered first, sniffing every corner to ensure it was safe. Once inside, Mike barricaded the door with an old table and checked the windows for any weak points. Emma curled up on the floor beside Blaze, resting her head against his side. The dog licked her cheek gently, his amber eyes soft but alert. As Sarah sat down beside them, Mike paced the small room, his mind racing. The fire was still a threat, but they couldn't afford to stay here long. Sooner or later, they'd need to keep moving. "Do you think the fire will reach us here?" Sarah asked, breaking the silence. Mike hesitated. "It's hard to say," he admitted, "but we'll be ready to move if it does." Blaze let out a low growl, his ears twitching. Mike froze, gripping the flashlight as he listened intently. Somewhere in the distance, faint but distinct, came the sound of cracking branches. "Someone's out there," Mike muttered, his grip tightening on the light. Blaze growled again, his body coiled like a spring. The sound of cracking branches grew louder, sending a chill through the already tense cabin. Blaze was on his feet in an instant, his growls low and guttural. Mike motioned for Sarah and Emma to stay back, his hand gripping the flashlight tightly. "Stay quiet," Mike whispered. "Let me see what's out there." Blaze moved to the door, his body tense, his ears pinned forward. Mike reached for a rusted fire poker he had found in the corner of the cabin earlier. Holding it like a weapon, the noise stopped abruptly, replaced by the eerie silence of the forest. Mike hesitated, his senses on high alert. He glanced down at Blaze, who hadn't relaxed for a second. The dog's instincts had proven invaluable so far, and Mike wasn't about to ignore them now. "Who's out there?" Mike called, his voice firm but cautious. No response. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a man, his face obscured by a scarf, his clothes dirty and singed. He stumbled toward the cabin, his hands raised in a gesture of surrender. "Help!" the man croaked, his voice hoarse. "Please, I need help." Mike didn't lower his guard. "Who are you?" he demanded. The man coughed violently, his knees buckling. "Just someone trying to get out of this mess," he said, collapsing to the ground. Blaze barked sharply, his tail stiff as he stared at the man. Mike stepped forward cautiously, the fire poker still in hand. "Stay back," Mike warned Sarah and Emma. "I'll handle this." The man was trembling, his breath shallow and labored. Close, Mike could see burns on his arms and soot smeared across his face. His eyes, bloodshot and wide, darted around nervously. "Were you alone?" Mike asked, his tone steady. The man nodded weakly. "I was with others," he said, his words coming in gasps. "We got separated. The fire, it came too fast." Mike's eyes narrowed. Something about the man's story didn't sit right. "You don't look like you're from around here," he said. The man flinched, his gaze shifting to Blaze. "I'm not," he admitted, "but I'm just trying to survive. Same as you." Blaze growled softly, and Mike's unease deepened. He wasn't sure if he could trust the man, but he also couldn't ignore someone in need. "Sarah, bring some water," Mike said reluctantly. Sarah hesitated but complied. Handing Mike a bottle, he offered it to the man, who drank greedily. As the man regained his strength, he looked up at Mike. "You've got a strong dog," he said, nodding toward Blaze. "Smart, too." Mike's jaw tightened. "What do you know about him?" The man's lips twitched into a faint smile. "Enough to know he's special, and that you'd better watch your back." Mike's grip on the fire poker tightened as he stared at the stranger. "What do you mean by that?" he asked, his voice low and dangerous. The man coughed again, wiping soot from his face. I mean that dogs like him don't come from nowhere, he said, his tone cryptic. Someone's always looking for them, Blaze growled, standing protectively between the man and Emma. The tension in the cabin was palpable, the flickering light from the makeshift lantern casting long shadows across the walls. Who are you really? Mike demanded, taking a step closer. The man hesitated, then sighed heavily. Name's Tyler, he said. I was part of… Let's just say I was with a group of people who didn't care much about what's right or wrong. Dogs like yours? They're worth more than you can imagine. Mike's eyes narrowed. You were part of the dogfighting ring. Tyler didn't deny it. He nodded slowly, his face grim. Not proud of it, he said. But I left when I realized how far they'd go. Blaze must have been one of theirs. Or a target. Either way, if they know he's with you, they won't stop. Sarah gasped from the corner, holding Emma close. Why would anyone do this? She asked, her voice trembling. Money, Tyler said simply. These dogs are trained to fight, to win. They're treated like machines. And when they break, they're discarded. Mike felt a surge of anger. He glanced at Blaze, who stood tall and unyielding despite the burns on his body. The thought of anyone using such a loyal and brave animal for cruelty made Mike's blood boil. So why are you here? Mike asked. Why should I trust you? Tyler looked him in the eye. Because I know these people, and I know how they think. He said, you've already been marked. They'll come for him, and for you. If they think you're in the way, I can help you get out of this alive. Mike hesitated. Everything about Tyler set off warning bells in his head. But his words had the ring of truth. He turned to Blaze, who hadn't taken his eyes off Tyler for a second. What do you think, boy? Mike asked quietly. Blaze didn't growl, but his stance remained defensive. It was enough for Mike to make his decision. Fine, Mike said. You stay here, but if you so much as look at my family the wrong way, I'll throw you out myself. Tyler nodded, his expression solemn. Fair enough, he said, as the family tried to settle in for the night. Mike's mind raced. If Tyler was right, then the fire wasn't the only threat closing in on them. And this time, running might not be an option. The cabin was steeped in silence, broken only by the occasional crackle of the dying fire and the distant roar of the wildfire still consuming the forest. Mike sat by the window, his rifle resting on his lap, his gaze fixed on the darkened woods beyond. Behind him, Sarah had tucked Emma into a makeshift bed, her hands trembling as she stroked her daughter's hair. Blaze lay at Emma's side, his body a barrier between her and the rest of the room. Tyler sat near the corner, nursing a cup of water, his expression tense but unreadable. Mike finally broke the silence. You said they'd come for him. Why? What makes Blaze so important? Tyler looked up, his face shadowed. Dogs like Blaze are rare, he began. Strong, smart, fiercely loyal. They're not just fighters. They're survivors. He's worth more to them than money. He's a symbol. If they lose him, it's not just about profit. It's about pride. Mike's knuckles whitened as he gripped the rifle. So what? They send some thugs to chase after us? I'll handle it. Tyler shook his head. It's not that simple. They don't just send people, they bring dogs. One's trained to hunt, to track, and once they're on your trail, it's nearly impossible to shake them. The weight of Tyler's words hung heavy in the air. Mike glanced at Blaze, who was watching Tyler intently, his amber eyes sharp and unyielding. They don't know where we are, Sarah said suddenly, her voice brittle. We've been careful. They'll figure it out. Tyler said grimly. The fire won't stop them, it might even help. It's easier to move through chaos when no one's paying attention. Mike stood, pacing the small room. We can't stay here, he muttered. If they're coming, we need to move before they find us. Where will we go? Sarah asked, her voice trembling. Mike paused, looking down at Blaze. The dog met his gaze, and for a moment, It was as if Blaze understood the weight of the decision. "There's a ranger station about 5 miles north," Mike said finally. "If we can make it there, we'll have shelter and maybe a way to call for help." Tyler frowned. 5 miles through this terrain, with them on your tail? It's a gamble. "It's better than waiting here to be sitting ducks," Mike shot back. Tyler didn't argue. He simply nodded. "If we're going, we need to leave before dawn. They'll expect us to move in daylight." Mike turned to Sarah, who was holding Emma tightly. "We'll be okay," he said, though his voice was strained. As Blaze stood, ready as ever, Mike knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. The first hint of dawn barely touched the sky when the family and their unlikely ally, Tyler, began their trek toward the ranger station. The forest was eerily quiet, the usual sounds of wildlife replaced by the distant roar of the wildfire still raging in the south. Blaze led the way, his movements precise and cautious, his ears constantly flicking to pick up the faintest sounds. Mike followed closely, carrying Emma on his back, while Sarah walked beside him, clutching a small pack of essentials. Tyler brought up the rear, his eyes scanning their surroundings, his grip tight on the hunting knife Mike had reluctantly handed him. "We need to stay off the main trails," Mike said in a hushed voice. "If they're tracking us, that's where they'll look first." Blaze seemed to understand, veering off the beaten path and into denser underbrush. The group moved slowly, the thick foliage hindering their progress but providing much-needed cover. "Do you think they're already looking for us?" Sarah whispered, her voice tight with fear. "They are," Tyler said bluntly, "and if we're lucky, they haven't picked up our trail yet." Blaze stopped suddenly, his body stiffening. A low growl rumbled in his chest as he stared ahead. His tail raised. Mike froze, his rifle raised, his heart pounding in his chest. "What is it, boy?" Mike whispered. Blaze barked sharply, the sound echoing through the forest. From somewhere ahead, a branch snapped, then another. "They're close," Tyler said, his voice low and urgent. "We need to move, now." The group quickened their pace, pushing through the underbrush. The sound of snapping branches grew louder, accompanied by the faint rustling of leaves. Whoever or whatever was following them wasn't far behind. Blaze barked again, his growls turning feral as he took a defensive position in front of the group. Mike turned, his rifle aimed toward the noise. A shadow moved between the trees, fast and low. Then another. "They're using dogs," Tyler said, his voice filled with dread. "Trained hunters." Mike's jaw tightened. "Not better than Blaze," he said firmly. Blaze lunged forward as one of the shadows broke through the trees. It was a massive Rottweiler, his teeth bared, his eyes wild. Blaze collided with the dog, their bodies rolling through the dirt in a vicious struggle. "Run!" Mike shouted to Sarah and Tyler as he aimed his rifle. He fired a single shot, hitting the ground near another shadow that emerged. A man, holding a leash and a club. The man ducked and retreated into the trees. Blaze managed to overpower the Rottweiler, sending it whimpering into the underbrush. Blood stained his fur, but Blaze didn't stop, barking sharply as if daring the others to attack. "We need to go," Tyler shouted, pulling at Mike's arm. Blaze returned to the group, limping but determined, as they resumed their desperate march toward the ranger station. The forest was alive with tension as the group pressed onward toward the ranger station. The sun had begun to rise, casting long shadows through the trees, but the light brought no comfort. The enemy was close, their presence felt in the faint sounds of movement behind them, the snap of a branch, the crunch of leaves underfoot. Blaze led the way, his steps deliberate and precise despite his injuries. His sharp barks earlier had been a warning, but now he moved in silence, his ears flicking to every sound. Mike's rifle was slung over his shoulder, his hands steady as he guided Sarah and Emma. Tyler followed closely, his grip tight on the knife. "Are we close?" Sarah asked, her voice barely audible. "About a mile out," Mike replied, his tone strained. We just need to keep moving. Blaze suddenly stopped, his body stiffening as a low growl rumbled in his chest. Mike immediately raised a hand, signaling the group to halt. "What is it?" Tyler whispered, stepping closer. Blaze's growl deepened, his amber eyes fixed on the dense brush ahead. Mike squinted, his grip tightening on the rifle. Then he saw it, a figure moving slowly through the trees. "Stay back," Mike said, positioning himself between the figure and his family. The figure emerged, a man clad in rugged, dark clothing, his face partially obscured by a scarf. He held a leash in one hand, and at the end of it was another large dog, a Doberman, its ears pinned forward and its teeth bared. Well, the man said, his voice calm but cold. "Looks like we found our prize." Mike's heart pounded. "If you think you're taking him, you're dead wrong," he said, his rifle trained on the man. The man chuckled, a sound that sent a chill down Mike's spine. "You don't understand, do you? That dog's worth more than all of you combined. And my boss doesn't like to lose." Blaze let out a sharp bark, positioning himself in front of Mike. The Doberman snarled in response, straining against its leash. "Call off your dog," Mike ordered. The man ignored him, his focus entirely on Blaze. "That's a fine animal you've got there," he said, almost admiringly. "Shame it had to end like this." Before Mike could respond, the man released the Doberman's leash. The dog lunged forward, a blur of muscle and teeth. Blaze met it head-on, the two animals colliding in a violent clash of snarls and growls. Mike fired a warning shot into the air, but the man didn't flinch. Instead, he pulled a knife from his belt, his eyes glinting with malice. "Get behind me," Mike shouted to Sarah and Emma as the fight began. Blaze and the Doberman clashed in a brutal, chaotic struggle. The sounds of snarls and snapping jaws echoed through the forest as the two dogs fought for dominance. Blaze moved with precision, his experience and instincts guiding him as he avoided the Doberman's vicious bites. Mike's focus shifted from the fight to the man advancing toward them. His knife glinting in the morning light, he raised his rifle, aiming squarely at the intruder. "Stop right there," Mike barked. The man hesitated for a moment, his eyes narrowing as he weighed his options. "You won't shoot," he said smugly, taking another step forward. Mike didn't flinch. "Try me." The man lunged suddenly, closing the distance faster than Mike anticipated. He swung the knife, but Mike sidestepped, using the butt of the rifle to knock the weapon from the man's hand. The two men grappled, their movements rough and desperate. Meanwhile, Sarah held Emma tightly, shielding her from the chaos. Tyler stepped forward, gripping his knife as he moved to assist Mike. Blaze delivered a powerful blow to the Doberman, pinning it to the ground. The Doberman whined, struggling to free itself, but Blaze held firm, his jaws clamping down on the other dog's shoulder. With the Doberman subdued, Blaze turned his attention to Mike. Seeing his owner in danger, Blaze sprinted toward the man grappling with Mike. "Blaze, no!" Mike shouted, but it was too late. The man barely had time to react before Blaze launched himself at him, knocking him to the ground. The force of the impact sent the man sprawling, his knife landing several feet away. Blaze stood over him, his teeth bared in a ferocious snarl. "Call him off," the man shouted, panic creeping into his voice. Mike retrieved the knife and pointed the rifle at the man's chest. "Not until you tell me why you're here," he said coldly. "You know why," the man spat. "That dog, he belongs to us. You can't keep him." Mike's jaw tightened. "He doesn't belong to anyone but this family," he said. The man's eyes darted to the Doberman, which was limping back toward the treeline. Defeated, he let out a bitter laugh. "You think this is over? There's more of us coming. You can't run forever." "We won't need to," Mike said firmly. "Now get out of here," Blaze growled, stepping closer to the man, who scrambled to his feet. He stumbled backward, glancing nervously between Mike and Blaze before disappearing into the forest. Mike lowered the rifle and turned to Blaze, kneeling to inspect the dog's injuries. "Good job, boy," he said softly, running a hand over Blaze's head. "Is he gone?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. "For now," Mike replied, his tone grim. "But we need to keep moving." Mike knew their time was running out. The man's warning wasn't just bravado, more would come, and they wouldn't stop until they reclaimed Blaze. The wildfire still loomed, a deadly force closing in. But now, the hunters were an even more immediate threat. "We need to get to the ranger station now," Mike said firmly, pulling Sarah and Tyler aside. Blaze stood nearby, his amber eyes scanning the woods, his ears twitching at every faint sound. Tyler nodded, his face pale but resolute. "If we stick to the creek, it'll be harder for them to track us," he suggested. Mike agreed. "It's our best option. Let's move." The group returned to the creek, its shallow water glinting in the growing daylight. Blaze led the way, his movements careful but swift, his injured leg barely slowing him down. Emma clung tightly to Sarah, her small face pressed into her mother's shoulder. The air grew heavier as they moved further upstream, the smoke from the wildfire mingling with the tension that seemed to thicken with every step. The sounds of pursuit had faded, but no one dared to relax. "Do you think they've given up?" Sarah asked, her voice hushed. "No," Mike said grimly. "They're regrouping." Blaze stopped suddenly, his body stiffening as a deep growl rumbled in his chest. The group froze. Mike raised his rifle, his eyes scanning the forest. "What is it, boy?" Mike whispered. Blaze barked sharply, his gaze fixed on a ridge ahead. Tyler squinted, trying to see what the dog had spotted. "I think there's someone up there," he said, pointing to a faint shadow moving along the ridge. Mike cursed under his breath. "They're trying to cut us off." The group quickened their pace, wading through the creek as fast as they could without losing their footing. Blaze stayed at the front, his growls persistent, his body language screaming urgency. A gunshot shattered the silence, the sound echoing through the forest. Sarah let out a startled cry, clutching Emma tighter as she ducked behind a large rock. "They're shooting at us?" Tyler hissed, his voice filled with panic. "No," Mike said, his voice tight. "They're trying to scare us." Another shot rang out, this time closer. Blaze barked furiously, his stance protective as he positioned himself in front of the group. "We can't stay here," Mike said. "We need to get off the creek and into the trees." Tyler hesitated. "But if we leave the creek, they'll track us." "They already know where we are," Mike snapped. "The creek's too exposed." "Move." The group scrambled up the bank, Blaze leading the way into the dense underbrush. The sounds of pursuit grew louder, the hunters closing in. Mike tightened his grip on the rifle, his jaw set. "They want a fight? We'll give them one." The group pushed through the dense underbrush, the sounds of pursuit growing closer with every step. Blaze darted ahead, his nose to the ground, leading them through a maze of trees and brambles. Behind them, the shouts of the hunters echoed through the forest, accompanied by the occasional crack of gunfire. Mike stopped abruptly, motioning for everyone to crouch behind a cluster of rocks. His breathing was heavy, his rifle gripped tightly in his hands. Sarah held Emma close, her face pale with fear. Tyler knelt beside them, his knife drawn and his eyes scanning the woods. "We're running out of time," Mike whispered. "They're closing in fast." Blaze growled softly, his ears pinned forward as he stared into the forest. Mike followed the dog's gaze and saw movement, a flash of dark clothing weaving through the trees. "They're splitting up," Mike muttered, "trying to flank us." "What do we do?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. Mike's jaw tightened. "We make a stand," he said firmly. "We hold them off long enough to give you and Emma a chance to get away." "No," Sarah protested, her grip on Emma tightening. "We're not leaving you." Mike placed a hand on her shoulder. "I'll be right behind you, I promise." Blaze let out a sharp bark, his body tensing as the first hunter emerged from the trees. Mike raised his rifle, firing a warning shot that sent the man diving for cover. "Go!" Mike shouted to Sarah and Tyler. Reluctantly, Sarah stood, pulling Emma with her as Tyler led them further into the woods. Blaze hesitated, his gaze shifting between Mike and the retreating group. "Go with them, boy," Mike said, his voice soft but firm. Blaze whined but obeyed, darting after Sarah and Emma. Mike turned back to the forest, his rifle steady as he waited for the hunters to show themselves. Another shot rang out, this one striking a tree inches from Mike's head. He ducked, returning fire and forcing the attacker to retreat. The second hunter appeared to his left, moving quickly and silently through the shadows. Mike spun, firing a single shot that struck the man's leg, sending him crashing to the ground with a cry of pain. "Stay down," Mike growled, his voice cold. The third hunter charged from the right, but before Mike could react, a blur of fur and teeth leapt from the shadows. Blaze tackled the man to the ground, his powerful jaws clamping down on the attacker's arm. "Blaze!" Mike shouted, rushing to the dog's side. The man scrambled away, clutching his injured arm as he disappeared into the trees. Blaze stood tall, his fur bristling, his growls echoing through the forest. Mike knelt beside him, placing a hand on the dog's back. "Good boy," he whispered. For now, the threat was gone. But as the group reunited and continued their journey, Mike knew the fight wasn't over yet. The ranger station came into view just as the sun began to dip below the horizon. Its sturdy wooden structure was a welcome sight after the chaos of the forest. A small tower rose above the building, its light blinking steadily, a beacon of safety amidst the smoke-filled skies. "There it is," Mike said, relief washing over him. Sarah let out a shaky breath, clutching Emma tighter. "We made it," she whispered, though her voice was tinged with disbelief. Blaze trotted ahead, his ears twitching as he scanned the area for any lingering threats. Despite his injuries, the dog remained vigilant, his loyalty unshaken. The group approached cautiously, with Mike leading the way. He raised his hand, motioning for the others to stay back as he checked the entrance. The door was unlocked, swinging open with a faint creak. "Stay here," Mike instructed, his rifle raised as he stepped inside. The interior was sparse but functional. Maps of the surrounding area adorned the walls, and a large radio sat on a desk in the corner. It was clear the station hadn't been used recently, but it was intact, a rarity given the wildfire and their pursuers. "It's clear," Mike called out. Sarah and Tyler entered quickly, with Emma clinging to her mother's side. Blaze followed last, his nose twitching as he explored the room. "We'll rest here tonight," Mike said, lowering his rifle. "In the morning, we'll try to contact someone for help." Tyler nodded, setting his pack down on the floor. "If the radio works, we might be able to call in the fire department or search and rescue." Mike crossed the room, inspecting the radio. It was old, its surface covered in a thin layer of dust, but it appeared functional. He flipped a few switches, and the device crackled to life, though the static was deafening. "I'll keep trying," Mike said, adjusting the dials. "You all get some rest." Sarah settled Emma on a small cot in the corner, tucking a blanket around her. "You were so brave," she whispered, stroking her daughter's hair. "Blaze saved us," Emma said sleepily, her hand resting on the dog's head. Blaze lay beside her, his body relaxed for the first time in hours. As night fell, the group took turns keeping watch, their exhaustion outweighed by the lingering fear of pursuit. The forest outside was silent, but none of them dared to believe the danger was truly gone. Mike finally managed to make contact on the radio, his voice hoarse as he relayed their location. "We need evacuation," he said urgently. "There's a fire approaching, and we're not alone. We've been followed." The response came quickly. "We're dispatching a team. Hold tight and stay safe." Relief flooded Mike's chest. but it was tempered by the knowledge that they weren't out of danger yet. The night stretched on, the air inside the ranger station heavy with tension. Mike remained by the radio, his eyes fixed on the forest beyond the window. Blaze lay at his feet, his ears twitching with every faint sound outside. The dog's vigilance was a comfort, even as exhaustion weighed heavily on them all. Tyler sat near the door, sharpening his knife on a small piece of stone he'd found. "Do you think they'll make it here before the fire does?" he asked quietly, glancing at Mike. "They'll make it," Mike said firmly, "but we have to be ready in case the others come back." Tyler nodded, his expression grim. "They won't stop. You know that, right? As long as Blaze is with you, you're a target." Mike looked down at Blaze, who was watching him intently. "They can come if they want," Mike said, "but they'll regret it." In the corner, Sarah dozed lightly with Emma curled up beside her. Despite everything they'd been through, Emma slept peacefully, her hand resting on Blaze's fur. The dog seemed to sense her trust, his body relaxing slightly as he stayed close to her. Hours passed, and the faint hum of helicopter blades broke the stillness. Mike's heart leapt as he rushed to the window. A spotlight swept over the forest, followed by the unmistakable sound of a chopper approaching. "They're here," Mike called out, waking Sarah and Tyler. Sarah stood quickly, gathering their few belongings while Emma rubbed her eyes groggily. Blaze was already on his feet, his ears pinned forward as he watched the approaching light. The radio crackled to life. "This is Rescue Team Bravo. We're landing near the station. Be ready to move." Mike grabbed his rifle and motioned for the others to follow. "Stay close and keep your heads down," he instructed, as they stepped outside. The downdraft from the helicopter's rotors whipped through the trees, scattering ash and debris. The bright light illuminated the forest, casting long shadows across the ground. The rescue team emerged from the helicopter, clad in fire-resistant gear and carrying weapons. "You must be Mike," their leader said, extending a hand. Mike shook it firmly. "Thanks for coming. We've been followed. There's a group after us, and they're armed." The leader nodded, his expression serious. "We'll get you out safely." "Is this everyone?" Mike glanced at Blaze. "Him too," he said firmly. The team didn't question it. They moved quickly, guiding the group toward the helicopter. But as they reached the clearing, Blaze stopped abruptly, letting out a low growl. "What's wrong?" Sarah asked, her voice tight with fear. Before anyone could answer, a figure emerged from the shadows, followed by two others. The hunters had arrived. Mike raised his rifle, his body tense. "Get the family on that chopper," he ordered. "I'll handle this." Blaze stood at his side, ready for whatever came next. The tension in the clearing was palpable as the hunters stepped into the helicopter's spotlight. The leader, the same man who had confronted Mike earlier in the forest, smirked coldly as he surveyed the group. "You really thought you could get away?" he sneered, his hand resting on the leash of a massive dog that growled low and threateningly at Blaze. Mike stepped forward, his rifle trained on the leader. "This is your last warning," he said evenly. "Walk away now, or you won't walk away at all." The leader chuckled darkly. "You don't get it, do you? That dog is ours, and we don't leave empty-handed." Blaze growled, his body tense as he stood protectively in front of Sarah and Emma. The rescue team moved to form a defensive line, their weapons drawn. "Get the family on the chopper," Mike said to the team leader. "We can hold them off," the rescuer replied, motioning for his men to escort Sarah, Emma, and Tyler toward the helicopter. As the group moved, one of the hunters raised his weapon, aiming at the retreating figures. Before he could fire, Blaze lunged forward, knocking the man off balance. The gun discharged into the air, the sound echoing through the forest. The sudden chaos erupted like a storm. Mike fired a warning shot, forcing the remaining hunters to scatter. The rescue team opened fire as well, their precise shots keeping the attackers at bay. Blaze returned to Mike's side, his fur bristling and his breaths heavy. The leader, seeing his men faltering, snarled in frustration. "Enough of this," he shouted, releasing the leash of his dog. The animal charged at Blaze, its movements fast and ferocious. Blaze met the challenge head-on, their bodies colliding in a brutal struggle. Snarls and barks filled the air as the two dogs fought for dominance. Mike's heart pounded as he kept his focus on the hunters, his rifle steady. One of the attackers tried to advance, but a member of the rescue team intercepted him. Disarming him quickly, Blaze delivered a powerful blow to the other dog, sending it tumbling to the ground. The defeated animal whimpered and limped away, disappearing into the shadows. Blaze stood tall, his body battered but unyielding, his growl directed at the leader. The man hesitated, his confidence wavering as he realized he was outmatched. With a scowl, he signaled for his men to retreat. "This isn't over," he spat before disappearing into the forest with his remaining allies. As the sounds of the hunters faded, Mike exhaled heavily, his hands shaking slightly as he lowered his rifle. Blaze limped to his side, and Mike knelt, running a hand over the dog's head. "You did good, boy," he said softly, his voice filled with gratitude. The rescue team ushered everyone onto the helicopter. As they lifted off, the burning forest below faded into the distance. Mike held Emma close, his free hand resting on Blaze's back. For the first time in days, they were safe.